Hello my fellow book lovers, and welcome back to today's video, or welcome back to my channel. If you have been here before, if you haven't been here before, hello, my name is Taylor and I do book related videos. That's what I did. That's what I sounded like. Okay, book related videos. And I decided we're gonna go on trend, all right? There's this little trend going around that is the 10 before the end. And that is obviously the 10 books that you wanna read before the end of the year. So I decided we're gonna make a little video out of it, okay? Because I have not done a straight up sit down video in like so long, and I wanna do one. So here we are. A lot of these books, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, you may see in reading vlogs because I do have like plans for them. So you may see them in a reading vlog sometime in the near future. Let's not waste any time, okay? We all know what we're here for, and let's chat about it, okay? These books in particular are ones that are like book series I'm in the middle of that will help me finish the series, book series that I've been really wanting to read for a while, books that are physically on my TBR that are part of series that I need to finish or that I want to finish, things like that. So a lot of these books are like focused towards like either finishing a series or like continuing the series, things like that. So, but the first one is not. It's a whole series that I want to read before the end of the year, but I'm counting it as one because I can't read one and then not go into the rest of the series. It's just like not gonna not happen. So that is the Throne of Glass series, okay? Full 8 books. You may look at me like I am crazy, okay? I mean, I may be, but honestly, I believe in myself. I know that I can read all these books plus the other ones before the year is over. I think I just have to really stick to it and be determined, and I can absolutely do it. This book series has been on my want to read list, or has been on my list of like book series to read every single year for the past 2 years. And truthfully, the only reason I hadn't read it was because I didn't have all the books, and I was like, oh, you know what, it's fine. I'll just treat myself every time I finish a book. And then my friend, shout out to Kay, hey Kay, is that her husband works at Target, and she was like, oh my god, they have the buy one get one 50% off, and I can use Tyler's discount. And I said, Miss Girl, sign me up, click checkout, I will buy the books from you. And so she did. So thanks to Kay for getting me literally the whole series. I only had the first 2. I had Assassin's Blade and Throne of Glass. And thank you to Kay that you are now all gonna see a reading vlog of this series. I don't know if it's gonna be a broken up reading vlog series or if it's gonna be like literally the full series in one go. But that is my first one. And that is and like I said, I believe myself that I can do it, but even if it's just starting the series before the end of the year, that's gonna count, okay? It's gonna count because if I at least start the first book, then I am starting the series. Okay, our second book, this is the last book in a series that I absolutely love, and I just haven't gotten around to reading this particular book in the series, and that is Wild and Rankled. I absolutely love the Rebel Blue Ranch series, and Dusty and Camille, I am not gonna lie to you, I didn't care for them too much when they were mentioned throughout the books, but honestly their dynamic I think could be really fun. I love Lila Sage, and I also think that this series is just so fun, and that all of the couples and all the dynamics in every single book, no matter what like the trope was always a good time. And her books are so quick paced and they're just fun, okay? And I'm excited to finish out this series because I love a cowboy romance, okay? I love a cowboy romance series, and it's just time to finish it, okay? It's time to round them all out and have them all on my shelf together looking pretty, okay? Next is a book that's actually on Kindle Unlimited, and that is Finn Rhodes Forever by Stephanie Archer. This is Stephanie Archer's, I think, first series that she ever put out. I love Miss Stephanie Archer, okay? If you guys know, she's the one who wrote the Vancouver Storm series. That is another series I am also in the middle of, but this is the last book in her Quiet Cove. I think that's what it's called, the Quiet Cove series that she's written. Again, all of these books have been a really great time. My favorite one is the second book in the series, and that one was just so fun. It was between a bookshop owner and a professional surfer. All of them are brothers. It's a fun time. I think Finn is a forest firefighter, and the main girl, I don't remember her name, but they were like best friends, and now they're like enemies. And then it's like they're together, like it's like a second chance romance, I think. So like a whole bunch of stuff going on. Not gonna lie to you, like I just tried to explain. I don't know anything about this, clearly, because I couldn't explain to you anything about the book other than what their occupation is. So yeah, I'm excited for this one because this is, again, the last book in a series that's gonna finish it out for me. And I've actually been reading this series, I think, for 2 years. And I've just been slowly reading them just because they are interconnected standalones. But I'm excited to like round it out and finish it because I've been wanting to read this book for a long time. It's just other books have just always taken priority because it's just on Kindle. So I'm like, oh, I can read it whenever, you know? So that's kind of my thing with it. But either way, I'm excited to read it, and it'll probably be in a reading vlog sometime soon. I don't know. This is another book that's been on my series to read list for the past 2 years again. The first time was I didn't own it, so I couldn't read it and it wasn't on Kindle Unlimited. Second time, I think it was on Kindle Unlimited, but then it went off Kindle Unlimited. Now it's back on Kindle, but I physically own the book, so like it doesn't really matter. And that is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I've heard such great things about this young adult series, and I don't know about you guys, but I love a young adult, okay? It makes me feel really nostalgic. They're super fun. They're so fast paced. So I understand if people don't like connect with young adult books, but like personally, I just love them because I think that they're so fast paced and such a great palate cleanser, and that they just are a fun, good time, okay? Like they're never really that serious, and they're just fun, okay? I don't need to explain myself. I'm allowed to like what I like. But anyways, The Naturals. This is basically young adult Criminal Minds is what everyone has explained this to me, and I love Criminal Minds, okay? I can't watch it anymore because it's gotten too real for me because I have a fully functioning brain now. But I used to watch it all the time in high school, and it was my favorite TV show, like favorite. I would literally fall asleep with that show on. No wonder I had nightmares, but you know what I mean? So, Young Adult Criminal Minds, and I'm very, very excited to read this because I've heard of really, really great things about this series, and I've read her other series, The Inheritance Games, and I really like that too, but I think I'm gonna like this one a lot more just solely because of what this entails, essentially, because it's Young Adult Criminal Minds, and like I've always loved Criminal Minds. I think I'm gonna like this a lot more. But this is again one of those series that it's like, as long as I start it before the year's over, not that I have to finish the whole series before the year's over, as long as I start it, then we are golden, okay? Because then I can continue and finish it into the next year. Okay, again, this is another fantasy series that has been on my want to read list for like 2 years, and I actually bought this book way before it like got popular and hyped up. Like I saw it at the bookstore, and I think I saw her on Kelly Clarkson before her book popped off, and I was like, oh, I need that book, so I got it, and then I just never ended up being able to read it. And now at this point, it's just like it's so hyped up, and I keep hearing things about it that I'm kind of trying to distance myself, but I see all the hype, and that is Lightlark by Alex Astor. I've heard of great things. This is another young adult fantasy. Yes, young adult fantasy. I think it's like a love triangle. The plot, so interesting. It's, if you guys don't know, every 100 years, the island of Lightlark appears for only 100 days to host a deadly game where the rulers of 6 realms fight to break their curses. Each ruler has something to hide. Each curse is uniquely wicked. To break them and save themselves in their realms, one ruler must die. Crazy. And then she ended up turning this trilogy into a 5-book series, I think. So more books are coming. And this is another one where I just want to be able to, I want to start the series before the year ends. Not necessarily that I have to read the entire series, because I don't think the other 2 books are out yet. Even though I think the other 2 books are going to be in a different character's point of views at different points in time. So don't quote me on that. I don't know. That's just kind of what I heard. So yeah, but either way, I'm very excited to read this book. I've been wanting to read it for so long, as if I hadn't just explained that. And I have Nightbane as well already, so I'll maybe read those 2, and then I can actually get Skyshade if I end up really liking this series. But again, this is, like I said, one of those type of series that I just want to start before the end of the year, because if I don't, that's another year that this book has been on my TBR that I haven't read it. Not good. We need to get her read. Number 6, we have If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. And this is a book actually that I wanted to read last year because it wasn't Kindle Unlimited, and I follow the author. I followed her on Bookstagram for I think a year or so, like over a year, because she's added other books that she's published, and this is just her first traditionally published one. And I'm super excited because I heard amazing things about this book last year, and then when it got traditionally published, obviously so many other good amazing things were being mentioned about this. The reason why I haven't read this one yet was, well, one, I literally just got it maybe like 2 weeks ago. No, that's a lie, like a month ago. Because I know it takes place over the course of not just the fall time, but even into like the winter season, like Christmas and stuff, that this might be a good like November in between read of like, you know, obviously like Halloween, like right now Halloween is over. And like I said, a great in-between read because it kind of like goes in between like the fall time, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, things like that. This is based around Gilmore Girls a little bit. It's set in 1997. It's in small town Vermont, which is amazing. Cliff is the single dad in this book, and it's basically like Luke and Lorelai, okay? Our main female character comes back to run her, I think her mother's inn for a few months, and she doesn't want to do it. She doesn't want to be there, but then she meets Cliff, and I don't know where I was going with that. I kind of lost track. lost track of where I was going. But either way, I heard really, really great things about this book, and I really do want to read it. Like, I've heard, like, it's really great. I've just heard such amazing things about this, and I absolutely love Gilmore Girls. Gilmore Girls is one of my like favorite like comfort TV shows. So I'm excited to have Gilmore Girls on while I'm reading this and just vibing. Next book up on our list is another book that is a series that I'm in the middle of, and a series that I'm kind of excited to continue. I didn't like love the first one, but I didn't hate it. Okay, but this has been a really popular series for a while, and this is a contemporary romance series, and that is Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. This is the second book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. I read the fine print by her earlier this year, and like I said, I didn't hate it, but I didn't like love it. Like, I wasn't obsessed with it, you know what I mean? But not terrible, and I'm excited to continue it because basically Dreamland is like Disney World, and these books are also on Kindle Unlimited, so it's like I can go back and forth between my Kindle and the physical book. I don't think this is a fan favorite. I know the last book is a fan favorite, so I'm excited to read this one and then kind of go into the next one. But again, this is a book series that it's like if I don't read the entire series before the end of the year, I'm not like mad about it. It's just as long as I keep continuing the book series. I'm really hoping I can check off quite a few series on my list though before the end of the year, because I'm in the middle of so many series, and I'm actually going to Disney in December, so I'm really excited, and I'll be able to read this, and maybe I'll read these before I go to Disney. Who knows? It'll be a fun time. Okay, maybe I'll do another Disney reading vlog because I'll be going to Disney. But yeah, I don't really know much about this one. I just know that Declan and Iris, it's like a fake dating, fake marriage, like marriage of convenience type of thing for Declan to get his inheritance from his grandfather. Because the first book had an inheritance clause in how our main character can get his inheritance. I don't remember the guy's name. And then same thing goes in this one, and then even the third one. So I don't know much about this one other than the fact that I do think it's a marriage of convenience. So all right, our last three are actually Kindle Unlimited books, and I'm very excited because these ones are books that I've been just wanting to read for so long, and well, actually not so long, okay? One of them is one that just recently came out, but it's by an author that I really like, and I just had been wanting to read her stuff. Number 8 is actually Mile High by Liz Tom Ford. I have heard very mixed things about this book in particular, but amazing things about the series as a whole, okay? Series as a whole, I know is like a god tier series for some people, like a god tier romance series. And I'm very excited. I love a sports romance. I've been wanting to read this series for so long, and even one of my friends, Riley, she just read the entire series and was like, no, you need to read it. And I've been wanting to read it, so I was like, okay, well, obviously I'm gonna take your word for it and finally get to it because I've just been putting it off for so long. I don't know why I've been putting it off for so long. Like, literally, I've been wanting to read the series for 2 years. Why am I not reading it? I don't know. Crazy, because they're all just on Kindle Unlimited. I can just read them. But this one, I know in particular, is a hockey romance series. Don't know actually anything else about, not hockey romance series, sorry, this is a hockey romance book in the sports romance series. I don't know anything about this book though in particular, to be quite honest. Like, I don't know the plot. The only thing I know is like why people don't like it, and I think going into the book knowing this information may help me like push through that part, because like I'm expecting the worst in my head, right, for the parts that people don't like, and if it's not as like bad as I think in my head, then like I'll probably be able to get through it and be like, oh, what was I so worried about? You know what I mean? Yeah, I think I'll be okay. But I just know that like he's like really mean at first, and like not like a fun kind of like enemies to lovers mean. It's like a just like a mean, like for what? You know what I mean? That's all about that series or that book, okay? And this is again another book series that like as long as I just start it before the end of the year, we're golden, okay? And then if I continue it before the year's over, I don't think I'm gonna read this whole series before the year's over, for sure not. But as long as I start it, then we're winning. We are winning. Number 9, this is a book that actually just got put on Kindle Unlimited. So I'm gonna have to like read it quickly because I don't know how long it's gonna be on there. And that is Picking Daisies on Sunday. I don't remember, I think it's Melina Coletti. I don't know, I can't remember the author's name right now. But again, I've heard really, really great things about this book. I'm just like in that girly vibe, okay? I think I don't wanna say it's a second chance romance, but it might be. I don't know much about this book, but I just know the vibes are very, very cute. I know that the girl, she like puts herself out there to her best friend and like admits her feelings for him, and then he doesn't reciprocate them. But then I think he asks her to go to a wedding with him. And so this may be a second chance romance. I am not too sure. The vibes make it seem like it is, but then when people talked about it, they didn't really say anything about the fact that it was a romance between that guy and her. I could be wrong. I don't know. So I'm excited to read this because I've been wanting to read it for so long. I think it's gonna be a really great, like a little palate cleanser, like morning read, you know, the whole shebang. And the last book on our 10 before the end is a book called Rookie Season. This is a hockey romance book, and this is co-written with one of my like favorite indie authors, and that is Katie Bailey. How Miss Girl doesn't have more hype around her, I don't know. I absolutely have loved every single book that I have read by her. They're all so fun. They're all closed door romances, and she just writes really great characters that are like funny and unique, but then also just like everything is just like well-rounded. Like I just love everything about her, and like all her characters are so witty and quirky, and like they're just funny. I'm like, y'all are popping off because of how funny you are, honestly. I don't really know anything about this other than the fact that it's like forced proximity, and I know that they're roommates. I don't know who the other author is. I cannot remember their name. Obviously, you'll see it here on the screen. I've actually never read a book that's written by two authors, but it's like they are separate authors who come together to write a book. I've never read that before. Like I've read like authors who like co-authors who write books together always. So I've read those, like Christina Lauren, right? But I've never read a book by two different authors that come together to write a book. Anyways, that is our 10 before the end. I am excited to, you know, read these books and kind of like hopefully finish some of my physical TBR. Well, actually my physical TBR, she's pretty empty. So looks like I need to make room for more anyway. On that note, I'm super excited to continue like a lot of these series that I've been reading for such a long time, or book series that I've been wanting to read for a long time. So hopefully I will be able to get these read before the end of the year, because that's my goal. That is it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really, really hope that you enjoyed it. Don't forget to follow me on all of my social medias, as well as subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.